January 31st, 2026. Persian Gulf, 3:20 p.m. local time. USS Abraham Lincoln, CVN-72, a Nimitz-class nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, displacing approximately 100,000 tons at full load, stretches 332.8 meters from bow to stern, powered by two A4W nuclear reactors producing more than 550 megawatts of thermal energy. The ship requires no refueling for over 20 years. Its air wing of approximately 75 aircraft represents a combat value exceeding $5 billion. The carrier itself costs an estimated $4.5 billion to build, excluding its embarked aircraft and escorting strike group. With a crew of roughly 5,000 sailors, aviators, and Marines, Abraham Lincoln is not just a warship. This is a floating air base, a strategic instrument of U.S. power projection, and a cornerstone of American deterrence in the Middle East. At 3:20 p.m., four Iranian helicopters descend towards flight deck under pretense of distress. Within minutes, that assumption collapses. What follows is not controlled by diplomacy or law, but by physics, training, and violence. Like, subscribe, and stay with us for the complete breakdown. 3:20 p.m. The approach. The Persian Gulf is calm, with sea state 2 and visibility exceeding 15 kilometers. USS Abraham Lincoln operates approximately 60 nautical miles from the Iranian coastline, conducting routine freedom of navigation patrols. Flight operations are underway. 40 F/A-180/F Super Hornets, each measuring 18.3 meters in length, weighing up to 29,900 kilograms at maximum takeoff, and valued at approximately $70 million per aircraft, are parked tightly on the flight deck. Fuel lines run. Ordnance crews are present. The deck is crowded, active, and vulnerable. For Mi-17 transport helicopters appear on radar. Each helicopter is approximately 18.45 meters long, with maximum takeoff weight of 13,000 kilograms, powered by two Klimov TV3117 turboshaft engines producing 2,200 shaft horsepower each. Cruise speed, approximately 250 kilometers per hour. Range, roughly 465 kilometers with internal fuel. Cost per unit, an estimated $12 to $15 million. These are not civilian aircraft. 3:18 p.m., the transmission. A radio transmission breaks through on the international distress frequency. Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Iranian military helicopter. Multiple mechanical failures. Requesting immediate emergency landing. USS Abraham Lincoln. Please respond. Under maritime and aviation law, a vessel is obligated to render assistance to aircraft in distress, even adversary aircraft. The request is unusual. 4 helicopters. Simultaneous failures. Identical claims. Analysis suggests coordination, not coincidence. Captain Michael Harrison, commanding officer of USS Abraham Lincoln, authorizes a controlled emergency landing. Flight operations are halted. Armed security teams are positioned. The Marine Security Detachment is placed on immediate alert. The window is opening. 3:19 p.m. Preparation on deck. 20 armed sailors take positions around the designated landing zone. M4 carbines loaded. Safety selectors off. Approximately 120 flight deck personnel remain exposed, wearing cranials and flame-resistant gear, many armed with sidearms. Below decks, 180 Marines of the ship's embarked security company move toward pre-planned defensive stations. Internal security cameras lock onto the incoming aircraft. Every angle is covered, every movement recorded. What the approaching helicopters do not know is that their surprise is already degrading. 3:20 p.m. Touchdown. All 4 Mi-17 helicopters touch down on the flight deck. Rotors remain spinning. Engines remain hot. For approximately 30 seconds, nothing happens. Then the doors fly open. 32 Iranian Revolutionary Guard Commandos pour onto the deck. Each carries an AK-103 assault rifle chambered in 7.62 by 39 millimeters, with an effective range of approximately 400 meters. Several carry RKG-3 anti-tank grenades. Others carry RPG-7 launchers capable of penetrating over 300 millimeters of rolled homogeneous armor. This is not an emergency landing. This is a deliberate assault. The attack begins. 3:20 and 30 seconds p.m. Initial contact. Automatic fire erupts across the flight deck. Within seconds, at least 20 U.S. sailors are hit. Fuel lines rupture. Deck vehicles are abandoned. Iranian commandos split into 4 8-man elements, executing a rehearsed plan. One element moves toward the island superstructure, one targets parked aircraft, one secures a landing zone, and one engages remaining flight deck personnel. The assumption is speed. Overwhelm the deck. Seize the tower. Hold the carrier hostage. The mathematics are unforgiving. 3:21 p.m. Return fire. Armed sailors return fire within 15 seconds. M4 carbines crack across the deck. The engagement becomes chaotic, with both sides using F/A-1 as cover. Fuel vapors hang in the air. Temperatures on the deck exceed 50 degrees Celsius from jet exhaust and sun exposure. Any ignition could trigger a catastrophic secondary explosion. Below decks, Marines are already moving. 3:21 and 30 seconds p.m. Marines enter the fight. The 1st Marine Fire Team reaches the flight deck. 12 Marines, led by a lieutenant, engage immediately. This is close-quarters combat in an environment never designed for infantry fighting. Sight lines are short. Ricochets are constant. Grenades detonate between aircraft with blast-over pressures exceeding 200 kilopascals. The carrier does not freeze. It reacts. 3:22 p.m. The control tower attempt. 8 Iranian commandos reach the base of the island superstructure. Their objective is the flight control tower, which oversees all deck operations. Inside are 10 sailors. The tower is reinforced with armored bulkheads and limited access points. Grenades are thrown up the stairwell. Smoke fills confined spaces. Before the attackers can breach the final door, Marines countersaw from above and below. The stairwell becomes a vertical kill zone. Within 3 minutes, all 8 attackers are killed. The tower remains operational. 3:23 p.m. Aircraft sabotage. Another Iranian element targets the parked Super Hornets. RPG-7 rounds strike aircraft cockpits. Grenades are forced into engine intakes. C4 charges are placed on landing gear assemblies. For aircraft are rendered inoperable. Estimated damage, approximately $280 million. Replacement time for a single Super Hornet exceeds 24 months under normal production rates. Sailors and Marines fight among the aircraft to prevent further losses. The risk of mass detonation remains acute. 3:24 p.m. Overwhelming response. The full Marine security company reaches the deck. Approximately 180 Marines now engage. Standard ship defense doctrine is executed. 3-man fire teams, bounding overwatch, systematic clearance between aircraft. This is not a riot. This is a containment and elimination operation. 3:25 p.m. Landing zone engagement. 8 Iranian commandos hold the helicopter landing zone, using the Mi-17S as cover. 40 Marines maneuver to flank. Grenades are employed. The helicopters are disabled to prevent escape. All 8 attackers are killed. None surrender. The window is closing. 3:27 p.m. Final stand. The remaining 16 Iranian commandos consolidate between parked aircraft. Ammunition is low. Escape is impossible. Their commander, wounded, orders a last stand. A surrender is offered. It is rejected with a grenade. From this point forward, the outcome cannot be reversed. 3:28 p.m. Climax. 60 fragmentation grenades are thrown simultaneously. The confined space amplifies blast effects. Shrapnel saturates the area. Marines assault immediately after detonation, closing distance under covering fire. Hand-to-hand combat follows. Rifle butts, blades, point-blank fire. By 3:30 p.m., all remaining attackers are dead. 3:35 p.m., deck secured. The flight deck is cleared. Internal sweeps confirm 0 surviving attackers. Casualty reports are transmitted. U.S. losses: 12 Marines killed, 24 wounded. 27 sailors killed, 38 wounded. Iranian losses: 32 commandos killed, 0 survivors. The carrier remains operational. 3:25 to 3:39 p.m. Retaliation. Even as the deck battle unfolds, USS Abraham Lincoln launches a retaliatory strike. 24 S/A-18 Super Hornets depart from below-deck hangars, each carrying 4 precision-guided munitions. 96 weapons strike 3 Iranian military facilities, a helicopter base, a Revolutionary Guard command center, and a training compound. All are destroyed. Cost of the U.S. strike package, approximately $180 million. Estimated cost to Iran. Infrastructure losses, exceeding $1.2 billion. The ratio is decisive. Hours later, strategic consequences. Iranian command and control. Nodes go silent. Regional naval forces increase standoff distances. Freedom of navigation patrols continue without interruption. The assumption collapses. Deception alone cannot neutralize a carrier. Analysis, what this meant. This was not just an attack on a ship. This was an attempt to seize credibility through spectacle. The failure reinforced a central doctrinal reality. Aircraft carriers are not undefended platforms. They are layered, armed ecosystems designed to absorb shock and respond with overwhelming force. The lesson is brutal and clear. Surprise is fleeting. Numbers matter. Training matters. Physics does not negotiate. Closing. Operation Deck Clearance succeeded because of layered security, immediate armed response, and disciplined execution under extreme conditions. What USS Abraham Lincoln represented that day was not just military hardware, but institutional resilience. The strategic message echoed far beyond the Persian Gulf. Carriers remained viable. Deception failed. Credibility was destroyed. Now I want to hear from you. What does this engagement reveal about the future of asymmetric naval warfare? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more in-depth analysis.